dudes, I'm Hilah, and today on Hilah Cooking, I'm gonna show you my deluxe chocolate chip cookie recipe. Now, the reason I call this deluxe is because it has nuts and coconut and oatmeal in it, so it's kind of healthy. We're gonna start out like any other cookie with some softened butter. I've got a half a cup here, AKA 1 stick if you're in America. So I'm gonna add some brown sugar and get this kind of mashed up together. And you could totally do this with a hand mixer or a stand mixer, but I know that not everyone in the world has those things. So I'm gonna just prove to you that it can also be done by hand. Just like our forefathers did it when they were making cookies on the Mayflower. Don't get me wrong, it's a real pain in the nuts to do it by hand, but by golly, I'll do it for you. Okay, see you back in about 3 hours. Okay, it really only took about 5 minutes, but anyway, you get the idea. So it's all soft, it's creamed together, and I'm gonna add 1 egg. What in the hell is going on with this egg? That was a mess. But hey, no shells, no problem. That should be a reggae song if I made a reggae band. Okay, so once that's fairly smooth, like so, we can add in our dry ingredients. So I've got some all-purpose flour. I've also done this very successfully using whole wheat pastry flour if you want to add a little bit more vitamins and minerals, and some rolled oats. And I'm using the old-fashioned kind. You could use quick oats. I wouldn't recommend using instant oats because they kind of just, you don't really get any kind of texture out of them at all. And definitely don't use steel-cut oats because then you'll have real crunchy cookies. There's a little bit of salt and some baking soda, not baking powder. We're using baking soda because we used all brown sugar. So the brown sugar is a little bit acidic, and that will react with the baking soda and make them rise. Baking powder would be too much acid. So once it's looking like this, where you've still got some flour showing, but it's mostly combined into a dough, we can fold in our yummies. I've got some shredded unsweetened coconut here. You could use sweetened coconut. I've got some semi-sweet chocolate chips and a combination of minced almonds, walnuts, and pecans. You can use anything you want. And if you don't like those things, you could just add more chocolate chips in place of coconut or nuts. So there we go. Cookie dough is done, man. So we can just put it on our sheet. So I've got a baking sheet here that I've lined with some parchment. If you don't have parchment paper, you can just use a little bit of spray oil, but I started using parchment and now it's like my favorite thing in the world. So we're gonna do, we should get about 24 cookies out of this. So I'm gonna do like a large tablespoon size, roll it in a ball gently. And this is a great cookie dough for making ahead and freezing. You could just form all the cookies on a sheet like this, put it in the freezer until they're solid, and then store them in a Ziploc bag in the freezer for several months. And then when you're ready to cook them, just pull out the frozen balls, put them on a baking sheet, and bake them as usual, but add an extra 3 minutes or so, and then you can have fresh baked cookies anytime. Don't blame me if you get diabetes. And then if you messed up because you're not good at fractions, you can space them out a little bit better, like that. Okay, so I'm gonna put these in the oven at 350 for about 10 to 12 minutes until they're spread out kind of puffed up, a little bit golden, and then we're gonna eat a cookie party. Karate chop cookie time! It's time to eat some cookies, guys. These have been cooling for about 10 minutes on rack, and now I'm gonna eat it. So if you like this recipe, also be sure to check out the blueberry cake that I did recently, and another great semi-healthy dessert. It has fruit in it, hey! And this principal recipe and all the recipes are always available at hilahcooking.com for your ease. Okay. That's what I call a deluxe cookie. That is so delicious. So delicious, even the dog wants some. Too bad that chocolate chip cookies are poison for dogs. But they're good for babies, so I'm gonna eat all of these. Thanks so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and follow me on Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff. And if you make a recipe of mine, you can post a picture somewhere and hashtag Hilah Cooking, and then I'll see it, and then we can talk about it, and it'll be so much fun. Try it, y'all.